Okay, well, if I could begin, Abhinav, could I could I ask you first, perhaps, to clarify the pronunciation for us?
Yes, sure. So this is the first time I'm receiving this question, so it's great to hear this. It's OYO.
OYO.
OYO. Yeah. So we usually receive this pronunciation, or sometimes people say OYO, but it's actually OYO.
OYO.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Jeremy, can you back this up?
I can corroborate fully. It is OYO. And if you're struggling, think OYO.
I mean, I think it's fair to say it's a fairly new brand in the UK market. I don't know, Abhinav, it's an Indian company founded in India. I don't know if you could give us a kind of, a snapshot of the company globally, a few facts, figures, numbers about the hotel company.
Yeah, so it is a company which started in India, but as we speak today, India is less than half of our business, so it's pretty much a global company now. The largest operations of the company is China, and we have more than 400,000 rooms in China. So we are the number 2 hotel chain in China, we are the number 1 in India. But what's most exciting is the expansion which is happening outside India and China. We're very excited about the UK market. UK is the first foray outside Asia for us. We are within Asia, outside India and China. We are very big in Southeast Asia as well as in the Middle East. And we are super excited about what we are doing in the UK now. So it's not just new in UK. If you look at the broader hospitality market, we are about a 5.5-year-old company. We are pretty much new to the whole world. But we are very excited about what we are doing in the UK. We have been here for 6 months now with Jeremy leading the show, and we are very happy to share what we have been up to.
Great stuff. And you guys have been in the press recently with big round of investment. I think it was a reported $1 billion. What does a $1 billion hotel company look like? Can you give us a sense of what you plan to do with that investment going forwards?
So let me start by sharing that a $1 billion investment first is a very big responsibility on our shoulders. This is an investment, so it doesn't really mean that we are of course more than $1 billion company, but we are not yet at the place where we want to. So that's where this $1 billion is going to go in. So it's going to go in to help us build a lot of capabilities. We're a technology-driven company. We are investing aggressively in building technology across the hospitality capabilities. It starts from how we build supply. It starts from how we are able to take a particular asset and upgrade the asset using our design and our data science capabilities. It goes into building pricing and revenue management algorithms. And all of this is powered through technology. So that's one. And then we are using it for international expansion. So we're now present in more than 20 countries across the globe. And we are building deep stack capabilities in every country, building businesses in a local way in every country. So that's where this investment is going into.
Great stuff. If I can turn to Jeremy now. So you joined, you're one of the first employees in the UK. What's attracted you to joining the company, and how are you going to use your restaurant background for the company?
So in terms of what attracted me to the company, I think it's the opportunity. The business opportunity is very, very exciting here in the UK. We work in a number of different areas, but our core product today is working with independent hotels and partnering with independent hotels. And the independent hotel sector in the UK is a very exciting sector. It's large, it's got its challenges, but there's a lot of opportunity there. I think the other thing that attracted me is the opportunity to work in a business like OYO. You don't come across a business like OYO which has the resources, which has the ambition, which has the clear goal and mission that we have. And a business like OYO that is number 1 in India and emerging number 1 in a number of other geographies to then come to the UK with that same hunger is very exciting for someone like me. With regards to my background from the restaurant industry, it's hospitality. Hotels are hospitality as well. I enjoy that space. I enjoy working with customers, working with asset owners to make sure that performance is at its very highest, and to make sure that the end customer gets what they want.
And obviously, we hear, you've opened up this large office. You've got a large presence in London now. Are you testing the waters in the UK before more expansion in Europe at all, or is this a tactical move, or how's it going to pan out, do you think?
We are very aggressive in the UK. UK is a very large market. So let me share that before we think about the rest of Europe. UK itself has a lot of depth for us, and there is a lot of commitment that we have to bring to the table to make UK into a big geography, into a home market for our company. We are already experimenting and seeing how the rest of Europe pans out for the company. So it's again a business where you need to go in and plant your feet and dig deep and build deep capabilities. We're doing a couple of experiments and in the pre-launch stage, and we will talk about it when the time is right.
And I've got to talk about Brexit. There's a chance, maybe this year, who knows, but obviously with Brexit we're going to be leaving Europe. Is it a risky move focusing on the UK before Brexit happens?
I've got sort of two reactions to that. The first is, as Abhinav said, OYO launched at the end of last year here in the UK. So we've only ever known Brexit here in the UK, and we are extremely happy and encouraged by the phenomenal momentum we've got after just 6 months here. From our perspective, this is what we know, and we're very happy with the success thus far. But the second thing I would say, which is more important, is the UK is an amazing destination with regards to the hotel industry, with regards to business travel, foreign travellers into London, and also the rest of the UK as well. And I don't think that that's likely to change regardless. It continues to be an incredibly compelling place to be, with wonderful things to see, with large businesses, with a huge amount of talent. And as a result, we are very, very confident both by what we've achieved so far and what's ahead.
Are you a disruptor? Would you call yourselves a disruptor at the moment in the UK?
Yes, absolutely. So if you look at us, and I'm answering this in the context of UK, if you look at us, we come in as a company that lies at the intersection of real estate, hospitality, and technology. We bring in these three very strong DNAs to the table, and the solution that we are seeing in the market is also a reflection of how we are solving problems. Especially the element of technology is not something that the other real estate and hospitality startups or companies historically have been able to imbibe. So this DNA is helping us solve problems in a very unique way. As an example, I would go ahead and state that already OYO's property management system, which is a completely mobile system built in-house, one of our core capabilities, is one of the state-of-the-art flagship systems that you will find in the UK market, and custom built for small hotels, very mobile, very modular, and allows for seamless and very easy adoption to wherever you go. And technologies like these make it very easy for the small hotels to basically get the same level of competitiveness and become really good for the customers, really good in operations, really good in their capability to deliver customer experience for the end customer. And it really helps them, shine through. And that is what we are aspiring to do, really make them super competitive and really deliver great value to our end customers.
From a business travel perspective, brand consistency and standards are really important, really key for the travel buyers and managers who want to make sure their travellers are heading to safe places. In the UK, there's the likes of Travelodge and Premier Inn, for example, which are growing at a rate of knots, widespread coverage. How would you position, perhaps for you, Jeremy, in the UK market, yourselves against those kinds of brands, the kind of big names with cheap prices?
So I'm sort of split it into two areas. I think the first is the consumer in the UK, whether it's a business traveller or it's a casual traveller, is tending to gravitate towards independent experiences. There's going to be restaurants, pubs, bars, gyms, also within hotels as well. And I think once again, whether it's a business traveller or it's a tourist, I think they enjoy the idea of staying in a place that is very well located, that is very well connected to the location in which it is, that is run by people who understand the geography and understand the local area. And so that's our sweet spot. We work with independent hotels and they have that DNA. And so that's a large differentiator between us and a Travelodge or a Premier Inn, for example. The other piece, though, is value as well. We work with independent hotels that can offer great value to customers, consistently great value to customers. They're not necessarily investing in large lobby areas, bars, restaurants, etc. They're very much focused on heads on beds, on the rooms, on the amenities within the rooms, on the general standards, and as a result, they can offer perhaps better value to a large hotel at the end of the road. So I think that's how I would differentiate.
So the character and the story of the properties could work in your favour?
Indeed.
Yeah, and I will add that we also have multiple brands in the portfolio, so we understand the aspect like every other franchising brand of how do you come out with brands that appeal to specific customer segments. We have multiple brands. We have in the UK market currently 2 of those brands, the OYO Townhouse and OYO Hotels. Within this, we also bring a significant level of commitment for standardization. We invest in CapEx to ensure that the standardization can happen and the upgrade of infrastructure of hotels happens. So that gives us a lot more control on what we would like to do at the hotel, because we are in charge not just of investing CapEx, but we have a team of our space designers, interior designers, civil engineers that comes and executes the project. So we are not only deciding how the standardization happens, but we are basically in charge of the process.
You talked about the many brands that OYO has. So in the UK, you've got a couple. I noticed where you have in Asia, for example, you have the Silver Key brand. I don't know if you could just explain the concept of Silver Key as a brand for the business travel sector.
The Silver Key brand, the genesis of the brand is in understanding the serviced apartment space. And we have drawn inspiration from that, and Silver Keys is now a brand which has service apartments but has moved into a broader real estate class by drawing inspiration from what the business traveler really likes and values in the service apartment space. So that is, of course, a high level of predictability, a high level of independence. They like not to be disturbed, they like their personal space around, and these are certain concepts around which the Silver Key brand has been designed. Yeah. So it's present in India. We are soon taking it to China and Indonesia as well, and we will see when we can potentially bring it to the UK as well.
Business travellers like the extras. They like the lounge. They like being looked after. For the kind of high-end business traveller, are there any properties that would lend themselves to go in that extra mile for the business traveller? Any extras or upgrades that you could offer if they wanted to, if the properties wanted to stand out, for example?
Yes, that's absolutely a part of our strategy. It's very early days in the UK, so as we move ahead, you will see more and more variation and more brands, as we were talking about, come on board. In India as well, our perspective of developing more brands stems from this approach. What you highlighted is a very interesting phenomenon. As you build your own loyal base of customers, you get to understand their preferences, you get to understand what they are looking for, not just overall, but in micro locations very well. Wow. So we use this data to be able to develop and curate experiences for them. So that's something that we will build as a capability in the UK market as well. Yeah.
Another theme, I've touched on this before, is duty of care and the health and safety and standards. I noticed, part of the investment, if I think I'm correct in saying, came from Airbnb, invested into OYO. Right. Do you think you may have perhaps a problem with that when Airbnb can ring alarm bells for some corporates because they think the hotels aren't safe, they're not vetted? Are you worried of that perception that might spread across to OYO?
No, that's a short answer. Airbnb is just an investor. They don't have an operating role in the company. This is an independent company, and we have a very deep relationship with Airbnb on the distribution side, but at the end of the day, we are hoteliers. So on the supply side, we understand supply, we understand the role of safety and health as part of building a holistic experience, which is not just important for corporates. This is critical for each and every segment of customer. Every customer that walks through our door, our responsibility towards delivering a safe and healthy environment for the customer is paramount.
I would absolutely agree with that. I think we have got and are continuing to build a brilliant health and safety team, and it's part of our proposition actually. not just to the customers, but also to hotel owners, which is we've got deep expertise in this area, and we can really add to what they're doing in a way that measures up against the most compliant businesses on the high street.
Maybe I will add that just the model of OYO is such that we work with a lot of smaller assets, and we go in, we invest our capital, we train their staff, we infuse our technology end to end at the hotel, and we enable them to deliver impeccable experiences. One of the inherent advantages of this model is that we have smaller assets, typically 50, 60 rooms in size, and we have multiple locations. And for the corporate traveler, one of the foremost choice in selecting a hotel continues to be location. So we bring amazing experiences which are curated for the travelers, but more importantly, we have multiple locations, therefore providing this ease of use, ease of access to corporate travelers, which is a primary criteria for choice. So that continues to become more and more important as we penetrate deeper in the market. So that will be one of our foremost offerings to any corporate traveler as we continue to grow in the market.